Hi, and a very good afternoon to those of you who are joining us and watching the live feed on all our social media channels. My name is Desmond Ong, and I'd like to welcome you to our NUS School of Computing Open House. Joining me today is Ms. Kong Yan San, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Yan San. I just graduated from the Business Analytics degree last year. So yeah, I think that's a very short introduction to myself. So currently working in a venture capital as a data scientist, and very excited to be here to answer questions today.
Great, and we'll find out a little bit more about Yan San and what she's doing now and what she's done since graduating. But before we get started, I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about the program that we have lined up for you today. So as you can see on the slide, we've prepared a number of different programs for you. Right now we are at the second last item on the program here. And at 4 p.m. there'll be another live stream session with one of my colleagues and another student. And you can join that as well to find out more information. If you missed any of our earlier sessions and you want to find out what was discussed in the earlier sessions, you can catch the recordings on our Facebook and YouTube channels as well. So after, and please, as I mentioned, right, you can stay in touch with us through our Facebook, our Instagram, and our YouTube, right? So we're having a live chat session, right? So please put in your questions, right? And we'll try to get through as many of them as we can in this 1 hour session that we have. If you like to have in-depth conversation with some of our faculty colleagues as well as our student ambassadors, please join our Discord channel which will be open until 6 p.m. today. Right, so we have some of our staff as well as our students that are on Discord ready to answer any questions that you may have. If you have any questions after today, right, we will still have some of our student ambassadors will be on Discord over the next few days at the times listed in order to answer your questions. In the School of Computing, we're always introducing new programs and new specializations in order to better prepare our students for the ever-changing world. Right, and so this Saturday, we're actually having a special program by two of my colleagues from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. on Zoom, and the details are here on the slide. If you'd like to find out more about our new programs, especially like, for example, in the Business Analytics major, right, we're introducing a new specialization in machine learning. Right, if you'd like to find out more about that, please join us this Saturday on Zoom. And if that wasn't enough, right, we also have a fun experience planned for you on GatherTown, right, where there'll be some activities, right? There will be some clues that will be dropped during some of the live stream sessions, right? And with those clues, you can solve the puzzles and potentially stand to win some really exciting prizes. So please join us on GatherTown to have a more interactive experience as well. And going on right now, actually, we have a session with our very own Prof Ben, right? We have a live session on Discord, Ask Prof Ben, where you can ask him any of the questions that you may have. If you don't know who Prof Ben is, well, you will soon find out. We also have talks by some of our students in our NUS Computing Club, right? Where you will get to find out a little bit more about some of the student activities that are ongoing in the School of Computing. If you'd like to find out more about all of the details about admissions, right, please check out these websites, right? You can find out more details about the criteria for admissions, how do you apply, what are the tuition fees and the scholarships that are available to help you fund your education, right? If you want to find out more about the specific programs that we have here in the School of Computing, you can please go to join.comp.nus.edu.sg, right? And if you have any questions that you want to email us directly, please send your emails to SOC, that's School of Computing, UG for undergraduate. So SOCUG at com.nus.edu.sg. Okay, so with all that housekeeping out, let's get down to chatting and find out more. So as we mentioned just now, Yen-san just graduated from our program just last year, right, and has since started working. So Yen-san, can you tell us a little bit more about your current job?
Yeah, so I'm currently working as a data scientist in a venture capital, and we mainly invest in startups within the Southeast Asia region. So like pretty early stage, so Series A and B. So even though my title is a data scientist there, right, because the tech team there is pretty small, since it's like the size is quite startup-like, I kind of do a lot of things at once. So like I wear multiple hats at work. So one day I might be doing data science. I'll be like solving like data science problems internally. The next day I might be doing data engineering. I have to create a pipeline to ingest data from different APIs or different data sources and push it into our system to be used by the investment managers to help out with their decision process. And the next day I might be doing data analyst work, helping out the IMs to analyze the company's data to ensure they're aligned and ensure that they're all correct. So I think the degree has helped me in a sense because it has taught me so many, like a wide range of skill sets, right? That being my job now, I'm quite grateful that I was exposed to all this so that it wasn't that daunting stepping out to work and requiring that I have to do so many things at once. So yeah, I think it's been fun. I think student life and working life is very, very different, right? But yeah, I think that's kind of a short introduction to what I've been doing since graduation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Yen-san, you graduated with a degree in business analytics.
Yeah.
Right. So can you tell some of our viewers how did the skills that you learned in business analytics really help you in your current position?
Yeah. So I think business analytics, right, from its name, I think it's quite obvious that it's a good balance between like computing and business. So we are trying to solve business problems using data. So in a degree, you will learn how to deal with data, learn how to deal with it, different kinds of data and different techniques to deal with those. So I think the degree has progressively taught me how to deal with data better, starting from like the beginning, year 1 and year 2, where I learned like foundational things like programming and also like statistical methods, and going on to year 3 and 4, where I start to specialize a bit more into like machine learning to marketing analytics, and from there like pick up all the relevant skills and technologies required that will be good for me to start off in working in my work. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. So what so for our viewers out there, right? They are not yet undergraduates. They are thinking about starting here at SOC. They're thinking about whether or not to apply to SOC. So what would you say to some of these students who are considering computing or one of the degree options that we have?
Yeah, I don't think we have to market it more. I think computing and tech is such a hot field right now, right? I think everywhere you see, everybody's like, oh, software engineers, data scientists. You want to have a smart nation, like metaverse is coming up, Meta and all. So I think there isn't like a need to market like why one should come to computing, but I think one should understand like the different degrees that's offered under computing and decide which one might be best suited for them. So I think from my perspective, the reason why I chose business analytics, because I think it suits well in my strength as an individual. So I think after graduating from A-levels, I was like, okay, I like mathematics, right? And I was like, okay, I want to do something that's math related, but isn't like a pure math thing. So I wanted something a bit more practical. And I kind of assess my skill sets from there. I think I'm a type of person like to communicate with different stakeholders at once, understand problems and help solve problems using like math. So I think, business analytics might be a very good, combination of all those things at once, and which is why I'm here in this degree. So I think if someone who is listening now and think like very similar to me, or they think like they like to do this kind of things, I think business analytics might be a very good program for them to consider.
Great. So as Yen-san was mentioning, like computing is really, really important. And maybe you're interested in computing, but you're not interested in you're not yet sure what you want to focus on. Well, I invite you to take a look at many degree offerings, right? So in addition to business analytics, right, we have degrees in information systems, we have degrees in computer science and computer engineering, as well as in information security, right?
Yeah.
So please find out on our website, right? In all of these programs, you will learn a lot of the fundamental skills like programming,
Yeah.
like being able to deal with a lot of data,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the different degree programs do have different focus, right?
Yeah.
So in business analytics, we're very interested in solving business problems using data, right? Which will prepare you for careers in data science, right? Or as a business analyst in many types of domains.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think I want to add on to that, right? Because business analytics, we do take a look at like data to solve problems, but I think the degree is so well-rounded such that it opens up a lot of career prospects. So I have friends who is now like me, data scientists. I have friends who is in data analysts. Some of them decided that they might not want to do data, but went into software engineering instead. So actually, the degree do give us a bit of software engineering skill, one or two modules. And for those friends, they were interested in that and went on to venture to that. Some of them went on to like become managers, project managers to manage projects within a tech company, and all of them are like working in very different industries now. So I think that is like one draw of business analytics. It gives you a wide range of skill sets that you can pick and choose from to specialize in once you go into like the later years of your university life and before you step out to work. Yeah, so that's one thing I'll like to add on.
Great. So maybe one question that's not so serious. So
Yeah.
yes, can you tell us a little bit about what were some of your favorite memories here when you were in undergrad?
Yeah, I think graduating just last year, right, and stepping out to work, I think one thing that I really miss about undergraduate life is really seeing my friends. Like, I mean, even though during COVID, we are not able to see them, right, but like interacting with them through my modules or like whatnot, I think that's one thing I miss a lot. At the same time, I also miss like the activities I do within NUS. So other than academic, there's a lot of opportunities outside of my degree that I miss. Like I'm in NUS Dance Synergy, so I actually dance about twice a week with them. So I do miss like the sessions with them because I'm not able to come back after I graduate. So that's a pity. But yeah, so I think student life also have like a lot of flexibility in time. So I have a lot or other more time to try out other things, right? But of course, once I graduate, I start with the working world. I'm still quite excited about my job though. I'm still excited about the work I do. But I think that's one thing that I do definitely like remember and think about from time to time, when I get busy at work. Yeah. Maybe you want to start like
So
getting the questions.
all right, let's check in with our team to see whether we have some questions in the live chat that's gonna start. All right, so we have our first question. Hi, how likely is a poly student with a 3.6 GPA, but with a strong CCA and analytics portfolio, be able to be admitted into BZA or business analytics? I can't answer to specific questions about the specific numbers. You have to direct that to the Office of Admissions, right? It's handled centrally. But I will say that like we take in a lot of students, and especially if you have like you say, a strong CCA and analytics portfolio, right? We do look at each applicant's application holistically, right? And so some of these additional things, right? If you have some of these previous experiences, it would really help to strengthen your application, right? So don't fret, right? We don't just look at the grades, right? But we consider each applicant holistically. Great. Hi, what is the split percentage between exams and group or individual projects? Okay, I guess it's a difficult question to answer in general because each course is designed differently. So like for example, in the early years of your undergraduate education, you will take a lot of foundational courses. Like for example, I teach the Introduction to Business Analytics course, right? And in that course, it's mainly on exams, right? But as you proceed up to the upper level courses, right? Some of the courses may be designed to let you do some like project work, either in individuals or teams. And some of the courses even, they partner with real companies that have a business need, right? So you're not just doing a project within your class, but you're actually, working with a business client, right, who may give you some data and give you a business problem, and you can help to solve it, right? So I will say that it's really hard to give a rough number. It really like depends on the course and the where you are in the program. Yan-san, do you have any thoughts?
I agree,
on
because
that?
like I think in my year 1 and year 2 years there was definitely a bit more exams, because I think those courses are more foundational. So like how to program, like you say, introduction to business analytics, so the basic models and like statistics, those are quite examinable. But once you go up to like the higher levels, where you learn more specialized skills and that can be applied to real business problems, I think that's where a lot of like a group project comes in, to kind of use the skills you have learned in the modules and apply it on like a project or a data set and do a final presentation right after. So I think it depends on how the prof actually structure the module. Different profs have different way of structuring it depends on how they think it's best to deliver the module and the technology, right?
That's right.
So I can't say like a very specific percentage, but it's definitely a good mix for sure. Yeah.
All right. So the next question, what is the difference between data science and analytics and business analytics? Right. So to clarify for some of our viewers, right, there are several different offerings that we have here in NUS, right? And I think what the question is asking about is the major called Data Science and Analytics that is offered by our College of Humanities and Sciences, and specifically the Department of Data Science and Analytics in CHS, right? So we have that, right? We have our Business Analytics in our NUS School of Computing, right? And we also have a third one in the Business School, right? Which is Bachelor's of Business Administration with a specialization in Business Analytics. Okay, so how are they different, right? So I will say that here in the School of Computing, right, our Business Analytics program, right, is evenly focused on 3 separate areas, right? So one is really giving you the fundamentals, the foundations in programming, right, in being able to write code to handle large amounts of data. Okay, second 1/3 of our curriculum is spent on the statistics and the mathematics. So you understand, right, what is going on behind the models that you're writing code for. And of course, the last 1/3 is actually focusing on the business applications themselves, right? So you're not learning about the models or you're not writing the code in a vacuum, right? But it's always with an eye towards the business applications, right? So our degree program really like focuses on all of these 3 parts. And perhaps, right, the College of Humanities and Sciences offering of the Data Science and Analytics program, they really focus a lot more on the mathematics and the statistics, right, and a little bit of coding, but not so much on the business applications of it, right? So that's I think one difference that we have like between our offering and the Data Science and Analytics major. Hi Yan-san, why did you choose BZA over CS or other computing majors?
Yeah, I think I briefly talked about it just now, right? I think I assess like my skill sets as an individual. I think when I look at CS, when I was applying for university, I thought that CS was like a really technical degree. They really go into the depth and the foundation of computers, computing networks, all those kind of things, right? While business analytics or BZA kind of try to solve problems using data. And like I said, I'm a type of person that like to communicate with people, different stakeholders, understanding problems, and I also like mathematics. So, and stats, as when I was studying back in the day. And I thought that the business analytics major was like a good combination of all those skill sets, and I think it suits me better than like the CS degree. So I think if you're a type of person that wants to go in depth into like how computer works, you know, like the software, how to build software, then I think CS is a very good degree for you. But if you think you want to learn how to solve business problems using data, using math, using statistics, then I think BZA is a good choice for you. So I think it depends on, you know, what you like more. I don't think one is better than the other. I think it really depends on what you want out of your degree.
Right. And just to add on to what Yen-san was saying, in fact, for all of these programs, right, you end up taking a very similar set of courses in your first couple of years, right? So in the first semester, everybody would take introduction to programming, for example, right? So there are some students who may start in one major, and then you know, in their first semester, they might find out a little bit more about the other programs, and they might decide, you know, this other degree program in SOC may be more suitable for my interests, right? And that's perfectly fine as well. Yeah. So there are some students who can shift their or switch their degree program, and especially in the first couple of years, right? The like after the first semester is still pretty doable.
Yep.
So don't worry if you don't know right now exactly what you want, right? But please, right? Talk to your seniors, talk to us, right? Ask us any questions that you may have in order to really find out what really sparks your interest.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Discord people are working right like behind us right now, trying to answer. So if you have any more questions, you can direct to them, for sure.
Next question. So NTU has the REP program where you graduate with a major. Are there such programs in NUS? I'm not that familiar with the REP program at NTU, so I may not be able to answer like specifically with specific details to or comparison to the NTU program. But are there such programs in NUS? I mean, in NUS, all of our degree programs are, well, like maybe I'll be asking some of my colleagues about this question, and we might return to this question in a little bit, right? So let's move on to the next question, and I'll come back to this one. Okay, what's the difference between business analytics and information systems, since both are using computing in business? Right, this is a great question, and the two are very similar, right? And that's why, you know, in our department, we teach both degree programs, right? So I would say that in information systems, you are solving business problems using technology, right? So like, for example, if you think of like e-commerce, right? How do you set up this platform to connect the buyers to the sellers? How do you like facilitate all of the stuff that has to happen, right? You have to build these like systems that can solve the business problem for you. So it is a lot of coding, it is a lot of programming, a lot of development as well, right? But with a focus on solving the business problem, right? And business analytics, right, is the same idea. You are still trying to solve the business problems, but now here you are perhaps a little bit more focused on the data that you need to analyze in order to make your decisions, right? So perhaps a little bit less like development work in our business analytics program, right? But again, right, with the same focus on solving business problems, right? And both of these skill sets are essential in many companies today. Right? Maybe Yen-san, do you want to speak from the student's perspective?
I can't really speak that much about the information systems program, right? But I think I do agree from what I see from my friends who do information systems. They do a lot of development and software development compared to the BZA counterparts. So definitely we are more definitely on the data side, very focused on the data. You will see us working with databases and like, you know, try and analyze those. But I think the information system try to create like a very effective and, you know, very efficient system to help businesses run. So definitely more software intensive. Yeah.
Great. All right. The next question, will having a diploma in IT give me an advantage when applying to information systems at NUS? Again, like my response to a similar question earlier on, right, I can't answer the specific details, right, about the admission criteria, right. You would have to direct those questions to the Office of Admissions, right, which handles this. But I will say, you know, that definitely having a diploma in IT, right, you have the necessary background, right, and you would fulfill the criteria, right? But I would encourage you to direct more specific questions to our Office of Admissions. All right, so
We're back to the old question. Yeah.
we are back to this question about the REP program, or the Renaissance Engineering Program at NTU, right? So the question again is, NTU has the Renaissance Engineering Program where you graduate with a major. Are there such programs in NUS, right? So here in NUS, we have the NUS College, right, which is the new venture that combines what used to be the University Scholars Program, or the USP, and Yale and US, right? So the new college is still in the process of a lot of the details, right, are still in the process of being finalized, and so more details will be announced soon. But that, right, will offer this kind of experience where you will be able to have a more interdisciplinary type of experience, right? And within School of Computing itself, we do have certain programs like the Turing program, which for computer science students, right, which allows you to go deeper and even do like a lot of independent research projects,
yeah.
right? So definitely, right, there are a lot of different ways that you can design your education here at NUS. Hi, oh, we have another question for Yen-san. Hi Yen-san, which qualification did you possess before applying to the business analytics program?
Yeah.
And was BZA your first choice?
I think so. I graduated from A-level, so I took the very standard BCME biology, chemistry, math, and econs. So it's a science track. I think being a science track does help you for computing. I think computing, they do look at your what you study. So I think a science track is probably preferred. Yeah, BCA was my first choice. Yes, I think BZA was my first choice. I don't think I placed a lot of other choices. I think mainly I put computing. I didn't put any other faculties for sure. So yeah, so I think that kind of summarized my qualifications. If you want to know more about like for A-levels, if you want to know, I think there is a summary score, right?
Right, the indicative grade profile,
yeah, so
right?
if you are unsure whether your grade meets the mark, I think you can look at the indicative grade profile.
Right.
That kind of shows you, but doesn't mean you have to hit that particular score. I mean, like I think like what Prof has just said just now, we do look at a holistic level,
Right.
and if you can always try it out.
Right. So on our NUS Computing website, right, if you go to join NUS Computing, right, on one of the pages you can find an indicative grade profile, which is, you know, from the past few years of admissions, right, what was the median students' grades. We have that for the A-level grades.
Yeah.
I don't think we
Only
have
has-
integrative grade profile for IB and some of the others,
Yeah.
right? But so again, that's just a guide. That's from the admission statistics from the previous years,
Yeah.
right? But there's no guarantee on, you know, what it's going to be like in the upcoming admission cycle.
Yeah. So if you're interested in computing, I think just put it as your first choice, and we'll always look at you in a very holistic way.
All right. Did you know what you wanted to do career-wise by the time you were going to graduate?
Well, that's a very good question, actually. I think that's a common problem that I think a lot of students face. I think especially in year 3 and year 4, right? What should I do after I graduate? Because I think actually it's a happy problem because our degree do expose us to a lot of career tracks. By the time I graduate, I think I kind of knew I wanted to do data science for sure because of all the internship experience that I had beforehand. So if you guys didn't know, so for business analytics and I think information system students, we do have a compulsory 6 months internship program that we have to go through in order to graduate. And I think for that particular internship, I went for a machine learning developer intern at SAP. So that was kind of my first taste at data science and machine learning. I actually really enjoyed that internship a lot, which is probably why it sparked my interest more in data science, and I think it helped me confirm my choice of wanting to pursue a data science career once I graduated, right? So I think you are not, I mean, the school do expose you to different skill sets, and from those skill sets, you kind of know what you are better at or what you are more interested in. And I think from there, you can actually start eliminating things that you might not like and start focusing on the things you like. And after you go through that cycle, you can probably go on to internships. Now there's a lot of internship opportunities available in the market. Go out and explore and experiment with different kind of jobs in different industries, to understand yourself better and kind of see what combination of skills and what combination of maybe what industry you might be interested in. And I think by the time you graduate, you should kind of have a good idea where you want to start first, for sure. I think that's kind of a very common experience that me and my friend went through our 4 years here. Yeah.
Great. And just to elaborate on what Yen-san was saying, so all of our SOC undergraduates have to fulfill a certain number of months of internship.
Yeah.
So we have several different types of internship programs, right? So the one that Yen-san was mentioning is a 6-month internship called the IIP, or Industry Internship Program, right? Where you are paired up, right? The two students will be attached to a company and will be working with them to solve their business problems, right? There are other programs where you can choose to do 2 times 3-month internships instead, right? So 2 shorter internships, right, which will allow you to experience different companies, right? So the specific requirements, right, will depend on the specific program that you are applying to, right? But we do have these internship programs to make sure that our undergraduates are able to gain some real-world experience, right? And use that to apply for their jobs, right? So that's one reason. The second reason, which is, as what Yen-san was saying, right? As a student, you get to try out, right, what it's like to work in this particular job, right, as a data scientist or as a software developer or as a software engineer, right? So you get to try out what it's like, and you may decide that you really like it and you want to continue in that career path, or you may decide that maybe that's not what you would like to do, right? And so that allows you to eliminate some that option and to try something else, right? So definitely we have a lot of these opportunities available for you to explore what are the different jobs that you want to apply for when you graduate. All right, the next question. What is the most difficult module in the program and what makes it difficult?
Most difficult module, actually I would say might be capstone. So capstone is a module that late, I think year 3 or year 4 business analytics and even IS students actually go through. But for business analytics, the capstone project goes like this. So a group of about 4 to 5 students is tied to a particular company and actually help them solve business problems. So for my group, we were tied to IRAS and we were tied to a live chat bot project. So you can imagine it as like a cumulative of what you have learned for the past 3 or 4 years to this project, because right now you have to go through the entire life cycle of solving a business problem, right? First you have to understand the business problem, then from there you have to figure out what technologies or what techniques you want to use to help solve that problem, and at the end of it kind of do a presentation on what you have done and why your solution helped them out. So I think that was memorable because it was a really heavy module. I think if you have not done an internship prior to that, because the capstone can be done before or after your internship. If you've not done an internship prior to that, that might be the first time you're facing a company, because you're actually working with the company itself. You're not just working in isolation, right? So you actually have to talk to the stakeholders in that particular company, understand where they're coming from, understand their problems in depth, and actually deal with real world data, not just the data you see in the classroom, but real world dirty data that it's so different. I remember it being so different because I was like, oh my god, it's like, oh, this what it looks like in the real world. So I can probably elaborate a bit more. So for my project, we did like a NLP, or natural language processing project, where you have to kind of filter out for IRAs the top topics within the live chat, so they can understand like what taxpayers are going through. So text data is not easy to handle, and I think the text data that I've seen in school is a bit more clean compared to what I see in IRA. So that was definitely trouble, because I have to like filter out all the Singlish words, I have to do all those pre-processing, and then still have to understand where they are coming from, understand like the limitations they have on IRA's side, especially on the type of technologies that we have to use, and then summarize everything into a final presentation. So I think that is definitely one of the hardest modules, but it's also the most fulfilling one. When I finished presenting and I finished my demo, I was like, oh my god, I actually solved like a problem for them, and they were pretty happy about it. So yeah, I think that's kind of the most difficult module in the BSEC-A program. Yeah.
Great. All right. What do you think the business analytics field will be like in 10 years' time? Wow.
Wow.
I can get paid a lot of money for answering these kinds of questions, Well, I think that, in this current day and age, right, we're seeing a lot of data, more and more data is being generated, as we like walk around with our smartphones, as we like buy things on our smartphones or on our computers, right? We're generating so much data, right? And I think data will still continue to be key for a lot of businesses, right? How do you optimize your business, right? How do you make your processes more efficient, or to invent new ways of delivering your services, right? So, I mean, if any of you are old enough to remember what it's like before Amazon or Lazada or any of these e-commerce platforms, right? Yeah. So I think, but these e-commerce platforms, right? The way that a lot of these companies are changing their businesses, are adapting their businesses, right? You need information systems. You also need a lot of business analytics, right? To really make sense of the data, to understand how do you bring your business to the next level. So I think that it will continue to be in high demand, right? Data will not be it will still be one of the most important things and being able to understand, being able to extract a lot of insights from that data to make your businesses better. I think this will continue to be very important. And as we are collecting a lot more different kinds of data, like geolocation, right? So like as Yen-san was saying, like natural language processing, right? We're talking a lot to our smartphones, and our smart devices. A lot of this data will continue to be important, right, for a lot of businesses. So definitely, right, I think it's still going to be on the rise.
Yeah.
Hi Yen-san, do you have coding experiences before you joined BZA?
No, actually I do not have any coding experience. I have not even opened command line, anything at all prior entering computing. So if you're worried about that, don't need to worry. The curriculum or syllabus is designed that it assumes that you do not have any coding or programming background, and you really start from the ground up. So the first module you probably have to take when you are in computing in any of our DE programs is the introduction to programming, and they will teach you from scratch how to program, how to think like a programmer, how to code, and everything. So you don't have to worry if you don't have any coding experience at all. Yeah, I think that's for me.
Next question. What is the difference between taking computer science and business versus taking information systems alone, or math and business versus BZA alone, right? Both information systems and BZA are bridging disciplines, right? Okay, so when we're talking about dual degree programs, right? So like, for example, computer science and business means that you will get a degree in computer science as well as a degree from the business school, right? Or math and business, right? A degree from the College of Humanities and Sciences and the business school. So like definitely if you're thinking of doing double degree programs, you will have to fulfill a lot more requirements in terms of the number of courses that you have to fulfill, right? So I can't offer like specific comparisons like between double degree and a single offering like information systems or business analytics, right? And the reason is because you'll be taking a lot more courses in those in the double degree programs, right? So if that is really your interest, if you really want to go not just all the way but double the way and get to like degree programs, definitely I think that learning, right, all of those skills will be very helpful to you, right? But I will say that, you know, here in the School of Computing, right, our information systems program as well as our business analytics program, right, we try to condense a lot of what we think are the most important skills, right, that will help to prepare you for the working in tech and after you graduate, right? So like definitely, right, these individual programs that we offer, right, would contain a lot of these skills, right, in a very condensed fashion.
Yeah.
I would say more
Yeah.
efficient.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Okay, so here's another question. How are BZA classes like before and after COVID? Are we after COVID yet?
I don't think we are after COVID. I mean, most classes are still
We're still in the
online,
middle
right?
of
Yeah.
COVID. So maybe
Yeah.
Yansan, you can start.
Okay, so I think prior to COVID, I think it's pretty standard. We have our lectures, and then for some modules that require tutorials, then we have tutorials or labs. So most of them are usually on campus or in real life. So we will be in lecture halls, and for labs, we'll be in the labs, you know, in Com 1 building. Then, you know, we just do our labs there. But when COVID hit, I think everything shifted to online. I think once COVID, like, you know, died down a bit halfway through, NUS tried to bring students back, right, at least for tutorials or like a smaller based classroom, while lectures over 50 are still online. So I hope by this year, or maybe like by next academic year, COVID, you know, does let there be a drastic improvement, and you know, you guys can entering this year can actually, you know, experience the campus life or come to at least computing, because they are building a new com 3. There's a new and improved building that you can explore, and a new canteen that I have not seen yet, because I think I was year 3 when it was closed down, so I've not seen a new canteen at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our classes, when COVID hit, right, we had to move a lot of our classes online. And you know, like it's still hard to forecast because it's still a constantly like evolving situation. But at least, you know, as the situation is getting a little bit better in Singapore in terms of the safe distancing measures and how like with our vaccination and booster rates, you know, we are trying to transition back to in-person classes. And I really think that, you know, the in-person experience, as Yansan was saying, is really important for you to, you know, have some activities with your fellow students, right, to form like study groups to tackle your classes together, right? And also, you know, just to get some social support, you know, someone to complain to after, you know, you had a very bad test, right?
Definitely.
So like definitely like a lot of these are very important part of student life, right? And as far as possible, NUS is definitely trying to get everybody back into class safely.
Yeah.
Hi Yansan, based on your own network of friends, what is the lowest GPA or rank point of a student that you know that managed to make it into BZA?
I don't think me and my friends really discuss about that once you are here, you're just here, right? I think like we have mentioned just now, I think if you're worried about it, but you're still interested in the program, just go ahead and apply, especially if you have a strong portfolio. Like we have mentioned, we look at each application in a very holistic manner, and I think there is an aptitude test that, if you do not meet like the mark requirement, you can actually go through the aptitude test or using your portfolio to just kind of, enter the program still. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What is the gender ratio in computing? So the official ratio is about 60 to 40, right? So like 60% male and 40% female.
Yeah.
Right. But Yan-san, what is your own like perception of that?
I think for business analytics, for my batch at least, I thought it was quite evenly split. For sure, like I don't enter a classroom and see like predominantly one gender and be like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm the only like female here, right?
Yeah.
But so I think BZA is quite evenly split for my batch. I think from the next few batch that I see, it's pretty much the same. I think because of the increasing intake and the increasing interest in computing in general, and I think that's why the ratio has become more like even throughout the years. So yeah, that's why I think you see a 60-40 split now.
Okay, next question. Is there any master's degree program offered by NUS School of Computing? Can I do my master's with my BZA undergraduate degree? And yes, we do have a lot of master's programs that you can find out more information on our website as well. As for the second question, can I do my master's degree with my BZA undergraduate degree?
Yes. Yeah,
This is like the concurrent degree program, right?
I don't think there's a concurrent degree program.
I don't think we have a concurrent degree programs, right?
For BZA, no.
So we don't have a concurrent, concurrent degree program is something in NUS that allows you to get your master's, that allows you to do your coursework for your master's and your undergraduate as well. It usually takes about 5 years and you can graduate with a bachelor's and a master's.
Yeah.
We don't have a concurrent degree program for business analytics.
Yeah.
But we do have a Master's of Science in Business Analytics, right? So that is a separate master's program that you can apply for. As a third or fourth year student, right? You can also apply for that degree program.
I think with like a BSc undergraduate degree, you do definitely can apply for any master's program in computing within NUS. Like if you want to do like a computer science master's, with a BSc degree, I think that's possible, right? I think that's possible.
But that would be like two separate
like paths.
Programs.
Yeah, two separate paths. But if you're wondering if you can do a master's with a BSc degree, then yes, then definitely.
Yes. So you would just apply for the master's as you are finishing up your undergraduate degree. Yes, that's right. Okay, so we're out of questions, right? So thank you all for joining us and for asking your questions. If you still have any more questions after this session, right, please join us, on our Discord channel, or you can join us again later at 4 p.m., right, where we'll have the last live stream session for today. Right, so you can proceed to any of our social media handles, right, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, right, as well as our website and the email, which is all on the screen, right. For more information, right, please proceed to any of these channels, especially on Discord, right, because we still have our student ambassadors and our faculty colleagues who are with me here in the same room answering your questions on Discord. Right, so please go to Discord. It'll be open until 6 p.m. today, and it'll be open over the next few days as well, right, if you have any questions. Right, so with that, thank you all for joining us, right? I hope that this session was very useful to you and you've learned a lot about the degree programs that we have. Right, so we hope to see you apply to NUS School of Computing, and we hope to see you in our classes right here at NUS. Thank you. Bye.